Well, happy evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do hopefully what I can for Inktober 2023, some of the prompts, and I'm gonna try to make a couple materials out of it. So here is a little dreamy like material. That's kind of the editor utility widget preview here. You can see it's super large. And let's just do a quick breakdown of what it is. And I'm basically doing this project in the UI Material Lab. So if you folks haven't checked it out, it's got some amazing stuff inside of it. But yeah, let's break into the widget and what I did. So essentially, it's two materials, a background and a text material. I'll go over the background one first. It's a little messy. Look at me trying a bunch of stuff, but such is the way of materials. So, what I've essentially done is taken the UI polar coordinates here. I take my UVs, I put them through a polar coordinate. So if we take a look, it's essentially, and I have a little shift of the UVs down, and then I'm running this through the wave warp. So that's going to get this funky little wave going on here. And I'm going to pass that through an SDF box to create this rippling pattern here. And I'm doing the exact same thing for this other coordinate, except I'm flipping the UVs. So we can preview that. Come on, you can do it. Oh gosh. Apparently it won't let me. That's fine. I'm on 5.3 in case anyone's curious. So if I preview this one, it's going to be up at the top. Kind of this arcing one. So one's beneath and one's up top, and then I'm combining these SDFs with a minimum node to create this sort of gradient pattern. And then taking those UVs, putting them through random, and that's creating the static. If you know my aesthetic is all about adding some noise and static. And I multiply those two-dimensional statics into putting it through a smooth step. So if we were to just preview this node, it'd be super grainy and gray, and the smooth step's going to clamp down the values to what I want it to be. And that's this. I wanted it to be the opposite inverted color. But I didn't have a ton of time to work on this. I maybe worked on this for about an hour. And if you do invert it, and we stop previewing it, it looks cool, but that's not the effect I wanted. I wanted the white to get the static and black to be the inside. So not sure yet how to get that effect. I haven't been messing it with this for that long, but that's essentially the background material. So if we go back to our widget, that's what's making the background. Now the text material is essentially the same thing. And let's go find this. We can open this up. And here is our text. So I'm using the UV text coordinate 1. When you're using a font material, this will apply it per character UVs rather than the entire container. I'm doing the exact same warp and wave, except I'm doing it to a texture. So if we take a look, it's basically just going to make a polar swirl around this texture. I am then constant biasing it and then multiplying it by a factor of 50 to make the effect more intense, and then offsetting the world position. So this is actually shifting the character around. And that's what's making the character flop around with the space there. So that's essentially the font material, and then this is getting the I'm drawing a little circle here to kind of make a faded glow, running it through, again, my favorite noise smooth step, and that's going to make the edges slightly taper off. And that's essentially going to give the look here where the D and the R edges and the E and the bottom of the A and the M. That's what's going to give it that little faded approach. So essentially taking the same warp SDF concepts, applying it to a background, applying it to a font, and then doing screen position to make the font wobble and offset. If I use the entire container, so I switch this to coordinate UVs 0, it'll have a much more intense effect. We can take a look after it saves. It's gonna warp the entire container. So if we go back to our preview, Dream is gonna be all over the place, like woo. So I thought that was a little intense. I didn't want it that much, or I could also put my multiplier down from 50. But I liked it on each individual character. I thought it added a nice bit of unique value there. So that's day one, Inktober Dream. Let me know what you think. Have a lovely rest of October.